Welcome to another episode of It's Okay with Tam Tam. Remember, life happens, but you're not alone because it's okay with Tam Tam. So please like our page, follow our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as if you're watching now or even later, please comment. You can ask us questions and whatever you like, we're open, and share this to your page because you never know who needs to hear this. So we have two guests today. We have Janae and Jennifer. So we are going to be talking about mommy anxiety. I don't think some people realize all the stuff that we go through as mommies. And I want everybody to kind of hear kind of the emotions that we deal with and keep undercover because that's what we do to kind of get through the day. So this is Jennifer and Janae. So you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves.
So, hello, Tam Tam. How are you this evening?
I'm doing
Uh,
okay.
I
I'm
you
okay.
you okay? So, see, I have a friend who always asks, "What is the parenting or the adulting score of the day?" Today, I came in at a very strong C plus on this parenting thing, and the class was graded on a curve. Okay. I have three. My my oldest daughter calls them gremlins. So I have three young gremlins that run through my house. Let's see. Adrian is the youngest. He is 20 months. Oh God, my baby just turned 21 months. 21 months. Then we have Maurice Jr., who is 6, and Madison, who is 12, going on 62. You never know what personality you're going to get with the preteen. Some days she's a diva. Other days, she's a prima donna. I don't know. But you're going to you get what you get. And then we do have two adult children because my husband and I thought it would be cute to start over multiple times. So we have a 20 and a 21-year old. So I am the mom of five. Um, in 2020, I tell people all the time I feel like God got greedy in August because he called my mom home.
Oh, sorry.
And
Sorry for that.
I have my baby brother with me for a couple of months. So my sisters and I, we split time on who takes care of him. So now I have him in my home as well. So I
Explain a
have a
little bit more about your brother so people can understand.
so my baby brother is, if I am, I'm gonna say my pretend age. Let's just say he's a year younger than I am, and guess what that might be. But we're in our 30s, and when he was born with blonde hair and blue eyes. And at that time, people were like, "Oh, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna survive." And I tell people all the time, he is the reason why I do know God is real, because no matter what doctor said, no matter what healthcare professional said, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, they covered him in prayer, and he has beat everything that they have put in front of him. He has overcome every bit. Now he is intellectually delayed, but I tell people all the time, he might not be able to hold a conversation the way you and I do, but trust me, he will communicate to you how he feeling. If you are a beautiful woman and you walk by him and you have a butt, we have to grab his hands because we tell him, hashtag me too. You can get them charges.
Good.
Keep your hands to yourself. You can't just grab women behind when it, hashtag me too can happen to you.
Oh no.
Okay. So having having another, it's like having another 22-month-old or 2-year-old in the house.
Mhm.
So to say that there's anxiety or anxiousness in my life would,
Sounds like an
be,
understatement.
it
I'm
is
gonna
a
get
huge
logged on.
understatement. No, no, because I'm gonna tell you, Jennifer, it takes a circle. It takes
Yeah.
a circle.
It
It
does.
takes some time having people saying, "Hey, you're like Tam say, you're not by yourself.
No,
Right.
no,
You're not alone."
no. So
So,
Jennifer,
so Jennifer, how many you got running around the crib?
Oof. I have an 18-year. Well, my daughter, she'll be 18 next month. Let me just. I need some prayer.
You need a moment of silence.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, she's 18. Well, she'll be 18 next month. I have twin boys that just turned 12 last month, and yeah, it's a lot. I'll just say that.
the added to that, so our daughters go to the same school,
They do.
and
Okay.
so
Hmm.
the school itself is an added stress because the school itself, not as a bad school or anything like that, it's just so much going on
Hmm.
that these kids are doing, and then they don't say no because the school supports their talent,
Right.
and so because of that, it's an added stress.
Yeah, it is. So we're preparing for college. We're going over majors, minors, going out of state, in state. Um, we went through a rough patch with learning how to drive, and now she has a driver's license.
Woohoo!
But it's giving
Yes.
me anxiety because she doesn't have a lot of driving experience,
And then they think they can drive.
and they think they can drive, and they're gonna drive my car and put you on my insurance. So it's a lot, you know. But we're gonna figure this out and we're gonna get through it. My twins, the pandemic, ever since that happened, I end up homeschooling them. So we do straight homeschool slash virtual, and they are involved in baseball, which is a lot in addition to. So
So they're only doing baseball this year?
yeah, I cut out basketball and football. I said, no, we have to narrow this down to one sport. And they chose baseball, which is one of the most expensive. So,
But it's probably the least amount of contact, so their
yeah,
bones should stay intact.
yeah.
You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about them getting, in football they tackling and all that. So
Right.
more
And I feel
important
like
is, hmm?
that was the safest as well, especially with the pandemic. Some they played infield, outfield, that way to kind of be away from each other, all in each other's face,
Yeah.
so still kind of keep them active, especially while they're doing homeschool and not interacting with other children. I'm like, okay, I got to get y'all out this house. We got to figure this out,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
started affecting them. And I started seeing that, and I was like, okay, no, I can't wait till the season start. Y'all got to go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah.
for me, for people that don't know, I have a so my husband has so it depends on how you say my bonus daughter, my stepdaughter, my non-biological daughter. So whatever you she is 24. So we never technically lived together because by the time me and my husband met, she was already in college. So we have a 24-year-old, then my husband's non-biological, my biological, however you want to say it. She's 17, and then we got a 7-month-old. So, you know,
So let
pandemic.
me say this real quick. I thought I started over. But if you take and add up all my start over, it don't equate to what you and Dom did.
Oh,
I think that's a whole nother show I could talk about.
That is a
Let's
whole
say,
nother show
have I
on how
lost my
y'all
mind?
uh-uh.
Have I lost
on
my
how you started over. And I'm just like,
Yep, and I'm a title it. Have I lost my mind? That's what,
I don't see how you do it.
first of all,
Hey,
it's a young person's game.
whew.
This child is kicking my butt.
Hey, but you know what? When you came to get your hair done, baby, you was handling that. I mean, Tam had
The hair was sticking up.
breastfeed over here. She had the food she made, feeding the baby. I was just like, okay, what you need me to do? Okay,
She
hold on.
was, she was awesome too. And then what I really, really, really liked and respected and I appreciated, she had another client come and she said, just give me a minute. Like, so she had her stay out.
Yeah.
So she wasn't really, because baby can't really wear a mask. So she wasn't, so I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she was right there, ready to help me too.
Diapers.
And she's and the added stress to this situation is that I guess these pandemic babies have really gotten attached with moms because the moms are there with them. So she don't want nobody else.
Yeah.
And she's still breastfeeding. And so she's weaning herself off now finally. But it's like, okay.
Yeah.
when you go, and pretty much what you want to say is when you gonna get off my boob so I can breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she even to the point now, like with my husband and my daughter, like she ain't going to nobody. No, she like
So
no. And if
so
she
we
don't see me,
it's all over with. So we went through this with Adrian. Again, my mom passed in 2020, and I went back and forth from Dallas to Mobile, and I didn't always take him with me. So there was a time when I was in Mobile for 2 weeks, and he was here with dad.
Ooh.
I came back. He was looking at me like, "Who that? Who that? I don't know that chick."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Come on, let's
Right.
go lay down." Like I, I don't know you.
he's just
Uh-uh.
mad.
And I was like, why are you carrying me so aggressively? Like you are hurting my feelings with everything. And he was, I couldn't put him to sleep. I couldn't feed him. Like I told my husband, I said, real talk, I need you to leave so that he and I can
Rebond.
we can rebond. We go I'm going back to skin time, y'all. I'm like, come on, we go just get here under the covers, the two of us. I know you 10 months. Shut up, lay here. I know you don't nurse no more, but you go lay here.
Right.
As my boobs are filling up with milk again because my body is just reacting. But he took that time and I was just like, wow. But I was telling one of my clients earlier, my son don't fool with you if you ain't got no mask on and he don't know you.
Uh-uh.
Like if you've never been in his house, he think you supposed to have a mask on. Like, don't be a stranger in Walmart walking towards him in your face. If he can see your whole face, he like, no, 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 no.
And that's so strange.
And
'Cause-
I'm like, a few years ago,
yeah,
children would have been like, you see somebody with a mask coming at
yeah,
you, you're crying, you're freaking
right,
out.
right.
But these children looking like you don't look right.
You got no
Why
mask
you?
on?
Yeah.
Get
I was
back.
told y'all. I was told y'all nasty. Hold on, everybody in
Right.
my house wear a mask. Why you ain't got no mask? So that's anxiety.
Yeah.
You never know, you know, who's around your children
Yeah.
and what are they now. I made it a whole year with my baby here at the house with me. Almost at 11 months and 2 weeks,
Yeah.
we had to go to daycare. So I took some olive oil and I prayed over it real long and hard. And I combed it over him and I said, all right, I've anointed you, go on out in the world because you can't stay here with me. Not now, another day.
He was over it. Like, no, we ain't doing this.
I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. So, Miss Jennifer, I take my hat off to you. I don't see how you do that homeschool thing.
Look.
You ain't talking about in her 50 jobs she got.
Yeah. And then you the hustler of all hustlers.
Hey, I try to make it happen. I don't have a choice. It's a difference when you don't have a choice. So both of y'all are married, right?
But okay, I don't know why my camera is not focusing. Yeah, but my thing is, you before the pandemic, her sons were doing 50 sports. Her daughter was doing sports and doing music, and she was at their games. She was at their stuff. Like she come and she does what she got to do. Why is my camera?
Let me tell you, I would have days literally where I would maybe make 2 trips back and forth to the salon. I would get up, take my first client probably about 6:30, take the client, go get the boys, take them to their game. Sometimes we would have a basketball and a football game in the same day. Go back to work. If depending on what time that game ends, I have to go back and pick them up from the game, take them home, and come back to the salon. So I do a lot of driving, a lot of back and forth. And when you don't have like love my family to death, but when you don't have that tight support system that'll say, you know what, Jen, don't worry about it. I'll take place. I'll go to the game, sit in, watch the boys play, support your daughter, or Nina, and while you finish your day, So it was always, I wanted to make sure that my kids had somebody there to support them because I never really wanted work to get in between, me being there to support them. So if that meant I had to do 2 or 3 trips back and forth to the salon, hey, I have to let my clients know, look, I have to be able to support my kids and I also have to be able to make a living. And unfortunately, if you don't understand that as my client, I get it. You'll have to find another stylist, but I'm not always available. That's why for the last 9 years, I've worked 7 days a week because I'm either at the salon, at a game, music event. I have to spread myself out. So this year, I'm shutting it down.
Okay, because I got exhausted. My heart started having palpitations. I felt my hives going down my back. And I was about to have to send my friend a text message and be like, I am by no means hijacking your show. But the coach in me is coming out. And I'm about to say, stop that.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? I did another show and they were talking about, just like the hours in a day. And it's like, there's as moms, we pack everything into an hour a day. But it's like when you listen, okay, you're supposed to have 8 hours of sleep. Okay. You're supposed to have at least 30 minutes of cardio workout a day, then you need to be able to cook a balanced meal. And it's like by the time you try to do all of this stuff, you at 48 hours in one day. Like there's no way in the world that
No
you
way.
can possibly do all this. And then it's like, people try to make you feel bad because they're like, oh, you fed your child this, and oh, but you did this, and you did. It's like, okay, yeah, I gotta go swing by. Look, I got this month because I remember it was just me and Bree. You ain't have no money. Look, and I gotta get you over here. We gonna swing by McDonald's. We gonna get us a cheeseburger.
Right.
This is what you gonna eat in the car. But look, that was our second home on the way to where I gotta go, and it's like I ain't got no other choice. I gotta feed her.
Right.
And then I only got a few dollars because the unhealthy food is the cheapest food.
Right.
It's the cheapest and it's the quickest.
Can y'all see that?
What is that?
DoorDash. Those are her DoorDash. Your DoorDash orders. So my oldest, so Braylon is the oldest. He's 21. That's my baby. So I tell people I had Braylon, I was a young mom. I was a teenage mom. And I remember when Braylon came to live with me, and
somebody
y'all hear feedback?
Yeah.
I thought so. Hold back.
No, you were fine. Yeah.
Okay. Is this better?
Oh, go ahead, talk.
Talk again.
Talk again. Now. Say it again.
The feedback. Okay. I'm with you ladies. Keep talking.
Okay. Technical difficulties. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. It happened.
So, like I was saying, there's it's just no way possible to do everything in a day. And then like, I posted before, I get anxiety when certain things are not done. Like in my house, when it's like not organized, it stresses the crap out of me.
Oh yeah.
On top of, and people's like, oh, don't worry about it because you got a baby. I understand that, but the clutter, and that's just me and my OCD.
Yeah. I had a situation. Matter of fact, yesterday morning, I tell the kids all the time, do not leave any dishes in the sink. Do not leave any food out. We just had this snowstorm. Ants, all kind of bugs start coming out and everything. Kid you not. I fell asleep. I was knocked out cold. They came in. When we woke up in the morning, came in the kitchen, twins setting up over here to, log in on their computers. When I tell you, it was ants everywhere. It was ants everywhere. I'm like, didn't I tell y'all to put the pizza up last night? Who left these dishes in the sink? I go to sleep early one time, and y'all done left dishes in the sink. Oh, so y'all do. So guess what we was doing? We was cleaning up ants yesterday morning. It's 5 minutes before we got to walk out the house. Nina like, well, Mama, I'm about to be late. I'm like, well, y'all should have washed dishes last night instead of leaving them in the sink. And now we got a kitchen full of ants. So, it just be like, I be like, this is why I tell y'all certain things, because we can avoid certain issues like this. Now, I'm trying to hurry up and get you to school when this could have been avoided. So, sometimes you just never know how your day is going to go. It's not just based off of us, it's our children too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And we're always last on the list.
Yeah, what they do or don't do affects our day. So, or what the daddies, if they're in the picture, do or don't do can affect our day and how everything goes. So even if some days you want to have a good day, you just have to make the best of it because you have so many other lives that you have to consider along with your own. So,
and again, we're last on the list because you're gonna make sure, like, you could be dog tired, but you're gonna make sure that you go to Nina's performance. You're gonna make sure you go to the twin stuff. But it's like, okay, but I'm tired. Like, I remember those days where it's like, okay, I gotta go to work. I was up all night, half the night, because Brianna has a lot of stomach problems, so she might have been vomiting half the night, and so I'm up with her while she's vomiting. but you got to get up early. And so everything you do is like, how's this going to affect my baby? What I got to do to affect the baby? Like planning. Okay, I got to be to work at this time. So I got to make sure I have a daycare that's going to open up this time so I can get them this time and make sure I get off. And no, but job wants you to do this. Well, I can't. I got to get home.
Yeah.
And then, you're supposed to have time for yourself. My counselor, told me, she was like, you need to start making time for yourself. I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me figure that one out too. That's added to the list of like all the stuff you're supposed to do. And it's just not realistic, but it does get to the point where it builds. And I remember when I was the single mom, I am fortunate because Dom he'll know when I'm at my wit's end, and he'll come in and he'll start doing stuff for me because he'll know that like I'm about out. But I remember plenty of times just going in the closet and just crying because I'm just like stressed out to the max. And you don't want your child to see it because you just don't want them to. Well, my child, she was stressed herself. If mama's worried, she worried.
Yep.
So you can't show her that she's worried, that you're worried. So you got to go off to the closet or wherever. Yeah. Wherever you can.
Yeah. I have yet to find a place my children won't find me. I'm trying to make reservations on the next space expedition with Bezos. Because maybe then
one thing I used to do was
happy.
Everybody like Brianna had to go to bed at 8:00.
Yes.
I didn't care if she went to sleep or not. She had to go to bed early. So that would be the time that I can go in my closet, I can cry, I can do whatever I had to do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, because you go in the bathroom, they right there in the bath. You and the kid, there is no.
And I realized that the other day I was in the restroom and I was just trying to read. I got a new book. I wanted to read my book, and a little person stuck their foot under the door, and then went ah. So I'm like, oh, his foot stuck. So what do? You open. Then he busts the door open and came in and sat on the floor with his book.
These kids be smart.
I was like, you bamboozled me to get into my private time. Now I respect the fact you brought your own book to this meeting. This is not a library,
right?
Why do you have to be in here? His sister came and was like, "Mom, let me just get it." He slammed the door in her face.
Who's this?
Adrian. And I'm like, no, I'm in the shower. It is 5:00 in the morning. And I'm like, okay, everybody's so quiet. I'm gonna go get in the shower. I hear knock, 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 mommy. Knock, 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 mommy. Knock, 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 mommy. I peep out the shower. The 6-year-old standing there. You okay? I heard your shower turn on.
At least they checking.
No.
At least they checking on you.
That melatonin now.
And I'm like,
melatonin now. She gonna knock her kids up.
But here's the thing. Yeah. I knew who it was because I don't know if y'all ever watched Big Bang, but Sheldon goes, knock, 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 Penny, knock, knock.
Yes,
so he was mimicking that. Knock, 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 mommy. Knock, 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 mommy. And I'm like, first off, it's 5:00 in the morning. I don't want to hear no jokes. I don't want nothing to laugh. I got my gospel music in here with me down low so I don't wake up your brother. Right. And here you go coming in saying, I heard your shower turn on.
No.
Are you okay?
Go back to sleep.
You say he would dream of Jennifer.
Yeah, he was dreaming. Go back to sleep.
So I'm always like, where? And then people, I will tell any woman a bubble bath is not self-care. That's just basic hygiene.
Yeah.
That's just basic hygiene. You should be able to take a bath and wash your behind.
Yeah.
Well, it's been times when I first had my daughter. This one,
it was like, if I'm, this is gonna be the only way me and you both get this bath.
Man.
So you just come on and join the party.
Oh,
Man, I was lucky when I first had her. I was lucky if I took a bath. I was lucky my hair was sticking over top of my head. First of all, I was so tired. I was
yeah.
just tired because she wanted a nurse and she wanted to eat every few hours. And then they had me on giving her antibiotics just butchered her stomach. And then she was so bloated, like full of just gas. She was just in pain. So she was just crying all the time. And I was just like, oh, I couldn't do nothing. I could not do nothing. And I was like, I'm just a cow to her. I'm just milk supply. She just latch on me and she just want milk. She don't want me for nothing else. That's all I am to her is just the cow. And I was like, oh. And then so when you finally get that bath, you're like, whoo.
Right.
Like I'm about to use all the hot water in this tank.
All of it.
All of it. I hope don't nobody need to do no laundry, no dishes.
Hey.
If you need to, you have to boil the water because I'm about to use all the hot water.
Right.
So all of my babies, I was able to have vaginal births until we got to Adrian.
Ooh.
And I had never had a C-section before until the very last one.
Oh, wow.
That is an incapacitation that I had never known before.
Yeah, it's a whole nother beast. Because when I had my first one vaginally, and it's like I had her, and then it's like you're able to move and function. But it's like once you have that C-section, it's just trying to sit up.
Yeah. I had two.
Both of your babies? Well, both of your pregnancies were
C-section. Mm-hmm. And with the twins, I had got sick in the hospital and I kept coughing. And y'all know how it is. When you have a C-section and they tell you cough, and when I tell you straight cough attack, I promise you for like 4 days. And by that time I was at home. So I was coughing so much to where I bust my stitches open. They had to go back to the hospital or my doctor and get them to stitch me back up.
For the twins?
Yes. Yeah. So it ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So I had never known being down like that. But I was like, okay, I can't do nothing. No way, the world shut down. So let's just go on and heal this up properly. Let me take the proper because with Madison, I was back at work after 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
With MJ, I went back to work after 5. With Adrian, I was like, oh, dang, I ain't got nowhere to go. All right. I guess I got time to heal properly. And I had never known full healing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is this what it feels like when your hormones start to level back out?
Oh, yeah.
You don't feel like you crazy and monkeys playing all around you. Got you. That was not normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, in other cultures, they do something different. They have a whole system. They have women that come in and take care of the mom and then take care of the babies.
Baby, let me tell you, that's France. That is France. When you have a baby in the country of France, you get an au pair.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like she gets royal treatment. And I'm like,
I had my children in the wrong country.
Yeah, what is this? This is ghetto.
They don't need to be American citizens.
No,
I say that patriotically.
Well, you can get a doula here. You just have to pay for it.
I think it's a community.
No, Tam. Okay. So the last time I researched it, because I was like, this can't be true. No. By law, when a woman has a child,
you talking about by law?
By law, that company has to give that woman not 1, not 2, not 6, but all 12 months. That woman has a year of maternity leave.
Yeah,
those women are not going back to work until their children are
and with pay. It would pay. A lot of countries, they give them like long maternity leave. Because I remember I was in one of my groups. The lady, I think she works for a British company or something, and she said, "Yeah, I get a year off." But on top of that, they give them time off before they have the baby. So it's not even that you gotta wait till then. And it's with pay. Cause I remember working at one of the jobs, they were like, if you ain't got the time, then you don't get paid. Like you gotta use your vacation time.
Yep.
And you talk about anxiety. I have 2 older sisters. Both of my older sisters are in education. And I remember when my middle sister went out to have my niece, well, all of her babies, because she has 3, she would scrimp and like hold on to all of her days. Like she would get her doctor's appointments early in the morning. And then go right to work. And I was like, why don't you just take the day off, go to the doctor? And she was like, no, I need all my days. Why are our teachers having to use their sick days to have maternity leave?
But that's any job. Any job over here, that's how it is. Like if I was working for the government, I would have had, well, they've just changed it where they give them some of the days. They give them some of the days where they don't have to use it. But before that, it was like you end up asking people borrowing for their time so that you could get paid when you had a baby.
That's sad.
And you know how many people end up rushing back to work?
Yes.
And ready to go back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like half the daycares ain't gonna take your baby at that time. You dang near paying a mortgage to send your baby to daycare to work. So your paycheck is like, okay, my paycheck going to the daycare, I still can't eat because my whole paycheck going to take care of the baby. What's the point of me going to work?
Right.
And then you find out how much daycare workers get paid.
Yep, they don't get paid nothing.
And you be like, well, why am I paying? And because I remember when we had MJ, I was working downtown and I was looking at all the daycare centers downtown. And there was one place that was $210 a week. I say, unless he get a brand new outfit put on his body that I didn't pay for. Every time he pooped, it better come with everything. Food, meals included, clothes included. They better guarantee I'm getting a Rhodes Scholar at the end of his education for him to be there for $210 a week.
Yeah.
But you know why it's like that? It's because when they have those babies in there by law, they can only have the ratio is so small. So
it's like 3 to 1.
No, it's like 2 to 1.
No, here in the state of Texas, it's 3 to 1.
Oh,
they cut it down to 2 to 1 to be more exclusive, and you feel better about giving them that 210. I was like, you know what I cannot do? I can't put somebody's child through college and my own twice. Because by the end crazy.
Of it. But then it's like, and then there's usually wait lists. So what are you supposed to do? So in Alabama, it's 5 to 1. For the newborns, it's 5 to 1.
So I have to shout that out. That's my sister.
Hey, say her name?
Jamana.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom.
I would have butchered it
with them J's. She was just unnecessarily extra. Unnecessary. And she's right.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Because our mom had a daycare, and I remember until Braylon was born, my mother was adamant. She was like, I will never have a toddler room. She said, because it costs too much, and then I don't believe in small children being in collective spaces like that. But when Braylon was born, things kind of changed because it was her grandbaby, and she was like, all right, he got to have somewhere to go so Janae can go to school. So let me go and open up one of these toddler rooms and we'll take care of a few children. But that's anxiety. Like sending
even just to send your kid. Because you don't know.
Adrian daycare has shut down 3 times due to the pandemic.
But even before that, so there was an incident. I was working, and this guy, he had his 2 of his kids. He has 3 kids now. They're all like back to back, but the third one wasn't born yet. So it was 2 kids in the daycare. So the girl was the oldest, and then he had a son. And so the girl, she would go in, everything was fine. The son would go in, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he was kind of iffy." And I was like, "Yeah, he's trying to tell you something right there." Anyway, needless to say, he picked his son up from school. His son was screaming bloody murder. This is like he's in the infant room. Okay, he's not a toddler. He's in the infant room, screaming bloody murder. They end up taking him home. They didn't know what's wrong with him, so they took him to the hospital. The hospital said his collarbone was broken. Ooh. How the heck you break the baby's collarbone at the daycare? And they said, "Oh, well, one of the babies might have fallen on him." That's the problem, because first of all, if your baby sneezes wrong at a daycare, they usually calling you saying you need to pick your child up.
Right.
This child broke a bone. That means this child been screaming for a while. And it didn't just happen when you walked in the door, because you would have said something. Like, it's so much. And then break the collarbone. Like, you know how much fat around here? But most babies ain't even got much of a neck.
Right. That's a lawsuit right there.
So I'll tell you, I am truly, we had an incident where when we had MJ, we put him at a daycare, and it never felt right. But I was like, okay, I got to go back to work. Maurice got to get back to work. We got to work. So
I believe it.
Yeah, someone dropped that child.
I believe it.
I put Maurice at a daycare, and every day it seemed like something. So we did 3 strikes.
You talking about MJ?
He's
a friendly little boy.
Huh?
He's a friendly little boy.
He is friendly. And for the most part, the first daycare we had him at was okay. But I got there one day and I looked and his sheets were dirty. And I was like, and it was like, "Oh, we changed the sheets at the end of the day. So now that you're picking him up, we're going to change his sheet." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I got back there the next day to pick him up. The same sheet, the same dirt was still on his sheet. So I was like, okay, that's 1. 2, they sent home the wrong breast milk.
That means you ain't labeling the stuff right. He could be allergic to something, or something can be in his food.
Ooh. And I don't know. I know, Tam, you breastfeed. Jennifer, did you breastfeed any of your children? Okay. So you know the smell of your milk. Like, Tam can open her milk and be like, "Okay, this is mine." Okay. Your milk smell like your milk has a smell. I was like, this smell weird. This smells funny. And then I looked and I was like, we don't even use bags like this.
Oh.
So come to find out. And then the teacher told me, she said, "Oh, the other mama had used your milk before she realized what happened."
No.
So, okay, first off, is something wrong with the staff and the other parents in this place? I'm starting to question the other people.
Well, I can't fault the other parent, because I know, look here, I was been so tired and delusional. Let me tell you, with this baby, I almost burnt down my house. I almost flooded the house.
How you gonna flood the house?
Huh?
How you flood the house?
Girl, I turned the water on in the sink in the bathroom, and I get in the shower. I ain't even thought about nothing. I get out the shower, and this water just running everywhere. And my husband, he was like, "It's okay." And I was like, "I cannot believe I did this. Like, what is wrong with me?" And then the oven, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna make some sausage. I'm holding the baby. I'm making this, putting the sausage. Look here." I said, "Look, I ain't got time to do no dish." I had pulled the aluminum foil out, knowing, like, I ain't thinking you supposed to put the sides up so the grease don't put in the thing. Just put it right on in the oven, and it was. I went and I was opening the oven. There was flames shooting out. Oh Lord! I said, "What fire extinguisher? What a fire extinguisher?" And my husband was like, "It's okay. I got it."
Don't like, hey.
You know what? I'm gonna have to send my friend like a bottle or something and be like, "Here you go, Dom." I thought it was just Tam over there struggling, but he just was dealing with her, so you struggling.
So I could understand. She probably is sleep deprived. She probably don't know if she's coming or going.
And I wasn't upset with her. But the third thing, Maurice got that one day to pick MJ up, and apparently the teachers were in there fighting. And not arguing. This isn't. These women are fist to face in their fight.
What?
One teacher then drug another teacher down the hall. Now, Jennifer, to know my husband is to love my husband. He very politely went to the front desk and was like, "Hey, I got 2 weeks I didn't pay for, right?" He said, "Yeah." The woman was like, "Yeah, you didn't pay for 2 weeks." He turned around to the woman behind him. He said, "Have you paid for next week?" She said, "No, sir, I hadn't paid." He said, "Hey, take what's on my account, put it on hers, because this is his last day."
Oh.
He said, "I don't want no refund. Give it to her. We're through. We're done. This is it." And they were like, "What?" He said, "You know what? Anything he got back there, bless somebody else with. I'm good.
Look,
I
he
just
said,
want
I don't want the stuff. I don't want the money. I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
I don't want nothing at y'all facility but my child."
Yeah, dog.
He came back to the car. He said, "Hey, you're gonna have to call. You're gonna have to take off. We're gonna have to split this until we find a new daycare." They were in there fighting, and sure enough, Lancaster PD is pulling up as we're pulling out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just unacceptable.
So we had to fly my mother-in-law in until we found another daycare for Maurice. But I was like, that is a lot.
Yeah.
And it's only been 5 weeks since I had him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we look at the anxiety, it starts then. It starts when we're trying to figure out, okay, what child care facility do we trust?
No, it starts when you're pregnant. It literally starts when you're pregnant because one, you worried about, is the baby gonna be okay? You know, how am I gonna handle this? How am I gonna work? How am I gonna go to school? Who gonna watch the baby? You worried about all of that.
And I tell people, it doesn't matter how socioeconomic you might be, stable you might be, you still worry financially.
Yeah.
You know, if you're rich, you be like, "Oh God, I have to call and get them added to the will and set up their trust fund." Your worries might be different.
But you still stressing out like who's encountering my baby? Like, are they gonna be fighting in front of my baby? Like, you sitting there at the daycare, you know, are they gonna change it? Because Brianna, I remember I took her to the daycare one time and I picked up from the daycare. Her diaper was so soaked, it was coming through her clothes.
Ooh.
Now, she was a toddler at that time. That means y'all probably ain't changed her diaper all day.
All day.
Because all I did was drove her home. And when I got home, that's how it was. So and I was like, and it was like, "Oh, are you coming?" No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Now, Jennifer, you're homeschooling. So 12-year-old, 6th grade or 7th grade?
6th grade.
6th grade.
Yep.
I can tell right now you're smarter than I am because you are smarter than that 5th grader. I sent my kids back on campus the second part of last school year.
Okay.
I have one child who needs I know money, bless her. Bless her be. But I sent MJ back on campus because he's social. He needs to be with people.
Yes.
Like Tam said, as a little boy, MJ would come up and grab Tam legs. And
yes, he was feeling on my legs.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Oh my gosh.
And then he'd look at Dom and go, ha, 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 ha.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
That is too cute.
Okay, I'm right. And look, his daddy gonna come to the door. Don't talk about my son.
Maurice.
But
Sam, he was just letting me know at an early age we were straight.
Oh.
That's all.
they don't know how to act. Again, they do not know how to act in this house.
He was appreciating this, and that's all.
And then
my mess with all them girls gonna be coming to the house.
Tam, we don't even talk about that because MJ is in 1st grade, and at Christmas, I spent $7 in Christmas grams. So you think maybe one girl got 7 different? No, 5 girls, and the ones he really liked got 2. But he sent out 5 Christmas grams.
Her son is a pimp.
He's starting early.
We're getting ready to go into
Really?
Valentine's, and he already has asked me, Mom, what is my allowance looking like so I can. And I said, MJ, why? He was like, because they're going to start selling the candy grams this week. And I got this girl and this girl, and he's naming them. And then I'm like, I said, well, MJ, I said, what did mommy tell you? That's not nice to send. Mommy, I'm just their friend. And I want them to know they're special.
Oh, okay. You know, it's something about these boys, like now, like Makai, he was on Discord the other day, which is like a communication system that they use when they play the games. Instead of giving them the phone number, you get on a system called Discord. He's like telling this boy what he needs to get his girlfriend for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, first of all, how you even know anything about this girl? Yeah. And I'm like, how old is he? He's like, he's 12. I'm like, he was like, yeah, bro, no, don't do this, do this. And I'm like, how you even know that? He's like, Mom, I have common sense, and you know, I am growing up. Oh,
you said it was Makai?
Makai. Oh, baby, he the one. He the one. I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna have 20 kids.
It's always
no, we ain't gonna speak that on that, baby.
When there's twins, it's always one that's more out there than the other. I remember Brianna played soccer with these boys. They were twins, so they were 3 or 4 years old. And so both of them liked Brianna, but one of them, he was just upfront with it. He didn't care. He told her he didn't care. Boy, but let me tell you, the mama, I guess because by the time they were like 4 or 5, and she had like learned how I guess she became numb or just tuned out a lot of stuff. I tell you no lie, we was in Foot Locker. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, I got to get the boys some shoes. And so she said she did them where she got them. She had to get them exactly the same because they fight. Even if it was the same shoe, a different color, she had to get them exactly the same. Literally, we in the store. One boy is running around the store. The other one is hanging from her neck, down her back. And she's like, hey, what do you think about this shoe? And I'm like, yeah, you got a child hanging from your neck. It's just like,
you pulling it out after so long. You like it.
Literally, like it was just like, she's just like, but you know what was cute though was they were playing soccer, and I'm sure your boys do it. They horseplay, right? And they like don't mess with them. They're gonna attack each other, but don't mess with them because you mess with one, you're gonna deal with both of them because they're coming for you.
Right.
So anyway, they was playing, and one of them like clotheslined him and snatched him back, and he fell on his brother's shoe and he hurt his back. And so he was down on the ground and he was like crying, and the mother comes running over there and she's like, you okay? And so he's down on the ground, and the other twin that's up that did the clothesline was crying. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And the one laying on the ground, he's like, it's okay. Oh man, you know, he had like hurt his back and everything. So the mom, I just can imagine just dealing with the anxiety of having two twin boys. And them being so active, doing stuff to each other. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know how I'm going to be viewed when I say this, but they actually had their first fight last week. Like,
really?
Fist fight.
Wow.
Really? Yeah.
They waited till 12 to get there?
Yes. Yes. 12. And, you know, like they may wrestle, but like fight, they've never done that to each other, ever. So we were in the car. One had a cookie. The other one, like Mikhail was playing, grabbed this cookie. And then Mikhail like spit on him. And I told him, I'm like, you know, y'all, we don't do that spit. That's like total disrespect. So the other one spit on him back. So they mad. So Mikhail, he's so cocky. He like, Mikhail mad. He like, you ain't gonna do nothing. I said, Makai, look at me. You gonna let him talk to you like that?
Like you ain't in the situation.
No, you did.
Like, you know, I'm like, but my thing is, if you gonna have anybody challenge you like that, I wanted to be your brother because I want to see what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? So Makai was like, I'm gonna just let him talk. I'm gonna just let him talk. Mikhail was like, yeah, this should be interesting. This should be interesting. So I said, okay, tell you what. We get home, y'all want to duke it out? I'm gonna let y'all duke it out for 30 seconds. Y'all hug each other, dap each other up, and y'all go on by your business. My daughter was like, I'll start the clock. I had them in this living room. Nita started that clock. Boy, they was like, go. Mikhail was like, Mom, can I do martial arts? Mom, what can I like spin and like trip him or something? Okay, let me tell you something. Don't do nothing that's gonna land him in the hospital. If y'all want to fight it out and go on. So they did they little boom, 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 fight each other. Then next thing you know, I said, okay, y'all good now? Oh my God, my hands are hurting. My hands are hurting. I said, baby, y'all ain't built for this. I'm about to go put y'all in something because y'all in
You can't add nothing to your plate, Jennifer.
Yeah,
Jennifer, it don't sound like you got room for nothing else but a nap.
No, I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna put them in martial arts, in taekwondo, and we're gonna have to go to South Dallas because they gonna have to know.
Okay, hold on, pause. Flag on the play because you traveling. I got 3 of the Blackish children in Lancaster.
Not the Blackish.
3 of the most privileged little children.
See?
Here in Lancaster. So don't think because they coming south, they gonna
I know.
Real.
Trust me. That's just where I'm from. I'm from East Dallas, South Dallas, you know what I mean? So I tell them all the time, like,
no, I've met some of these other ones, and I'm like, what streets?
They all over. Trust
you don't
me,
need to add nothing else to your plate.
I gotta get them prepared.
They all right. Look here. Trust me, they're gonna be fine. So, you'll be surprised when the boys get backed in the corner. You'll be surprised what comes out. Hey, let somebody from the streets come and mess with Mikhail, whatever one. Mess with one of them. A whole nother beast. And your kid, you ain't seen her boys. So her boys, he just all with a little shirt on. They're athletes. They cut up the little 12-year-old boys, athletes.
Oh yeah.
So trust me, that strength gonna come out.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna know what hit them.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, and they not even like that. They not those type of boys. You know what I'm saying? But I also know, like, that's part of. We talk about anxiety. Being a single mom raising boys. I'm like, oh my God, what do y'all need to know at this point? I'm Googling, trying to figure out what y'all need to know by 12. You know, so it's like I always want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing to make sure that I'm preparing them with what I know as a mother. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm having to reach out to other men, or
I think that's your best bet as a woman. Like you only can do so much as a woman. I think your best bet is, like you say, reaching out to another man, and hopefully one of them will step up and just be their mentor.
Or find some programs. And after this, I'll make sure I share some with you where it's a lot of men mentoring. And especially Black men. What I will say here in Dallas, we've had a lot of Black men step up and answer the call and say, you know what? It's too many of our young boys not growing up with strong, positive male figures in their life.
Right.
And we're gonna step up. We're gonna step up to the plate. We're gonna be there for them. And I'll gladly share with you some different programs, because like I don't like I was a single mom to a young Black boy for many, 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 many moons. Well, not many. After me and Maurice met when he was 9. So like the first decade of his life, the first decade of his life, I was a single mom, but I had my granddad, I had uncles and all of those different people who poured into him. But then I also made sure he was a part of different things so he could see different aspects of what manhood looked like and what does it look like to be somebody of character. And then when I met my husband, he just sold it on up because he was like, all right, this is what we do. This is what we're not doing. So, but I get it. That is a true, like, kind of hold your breath. Like, am I doing this? But then I always tell people so when I got pregnant with my oldest son, I tell people I was in Mobile, Alabama, and this was back when they were trying to figure out if they should separate teen moms from everybody else in school.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my guidance counselor, I say, this is not my mama fault, my daddy fault. This ain't nobody. This was my fault trying to be grown. Mm-hmm. So we ain't for to sit here and try to blame my parents or where I come from. This is all on me. But I will tell anybody, me and my sisters, guys had to come with real like game, like hard hitting game to impress us, because every day our daddy told us how beautiful we were. So we were arrogant. He told us how special we were. So we were some back in the church houses. And then don't be trying to throw money at us, because we'd be like, our granddaddy took us and did that. This was around when Dooney and Burke had their first wave. Y'all remember when Dooney had their first wave?
Not me.
Especially her. Our granddaddy was like, I don't ever want no man to be able to give y'all jewelry or purses and y'all get caught up in that. So when my husband met me, my husband was like, I was like, I got a Discover card with my granddaddy name on it. I can do that for myself. What? So my husband was like, all right, listen.
Man.
And that sister who talking about some who, not me, her poor husband had to jump over a gate, crawl under some guard dogs, fight a war, slay a dragon, kiss donkey, play with Shrek. All to get her to go out with him a third time. My poor brother-in-law.
See,
but he got her.
Yeah, but he got her down. He wore her down.
Right.
He wore her down.
I say salute to your husband, salute to your dad, grandfather, all the men that played that role, because it's so many of us that don't have that. You know what I mean? And we don't know what that feels like. So even with myself, and I know Tam on the next episode, we're going to talk more about it, but I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? I have a dad, stepdad, grandfather, but they not doing that kind of stuff. So then you tend to deal with men that they'll do a little something and you think it's something. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance, or, I'm going to go ahead and see what you're talking about. But really, they're giving you the bare minimum,
I don't think men, especially in my time, I guess I'm a little older than both of y'all. So, yeah, I'm in my 40s. Y'all know, I was an old mama. I'm an old mama. I could do a whole show of being an old mama. So, but especially like I say, in my time, it's like the men weren't very interactive with the thing. Like my father, like his interaction was, and the way he expressed his love was, I'm gonna make sure all the bills are paid. But it wasn't much like conversation, like, this is how a boy's gonna act, this is how a boy should treat you, or nothing like that. It was literally, I go to work, you don't have to worry about me. I come home every night, I'm gonna be here, and the bills paid. You don't have to worry about the lights being turned off, and you don't have to worry about us being put out. So that was my male example. Like my mother's father had already passed away, but we had an interaction with her granddad. And then my dad's dad, they lived in another state, so we saw them once or twice a year. So my dad was the man, and that's what I saw. It was very, very minimal conversation, very minimal of mentoring, of how you like you said. I feel like all girls need that, of how a man should treat you, and how what does the interaction look like, and what should you expect. And so I think now that this generation, the ones that are involved, are setting forth that example.
Y'all,
my husband always talks about the boys, you can't expect a boy to become a man when no, you can't expect a boy to be the head of the household and leading a family when his mama had to do it, because that's what
Ooh.
he sees as the example. So he sees that.
And I think that has become the cycle. Now, Jennifer, hold on, because what I want to make sure you know is there are anomalies to every situation. My sister send me a text message if I start telling too much of her business, but my oldest nephew was her first, and it was her and my nephew and me and Braylon. And what I will say is my nephew fawns over my sister and has been more of a gentleman to every girl that I have known him to date than my son is to me. And part of that is just because my son is a little selfish, but we love him regardless. Braylon got his old bag of stuff.
Yep.
So there are those anomalies. So don't think, no, your boys are gonna be great.
Her boys are actually very well mannered. They're very good kids. Like
because it also comes from if you're not walking around here being angry.
Right.
Because you are holding on to all of that anxiety and all of that stress. Yeah. My sister let all of that go. And it was okay, Ashton, it's you and me.
Right.
And we gonna work this out.
Right.
My nephew knew how to cook breakfast.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh, Ashton, I'm cooking my mom breakfast in bed.
Oh.
I was like, oh. Can you put Nanny and Eggo in the
right?
Can I get an Eggo on the? I'll bring you breakfast. Right. Now, my breakfast was at the table, and husband in the bedroom. But he did put me a waffle on the pan. I was very, very appreciative of that waffle.
Oh, certainly.
But it's all about how because even children who are in dual parent homes, sometimes still you just be like, again, me and my husband look at our oldest one and be like, what?
I think also I think we have to come to grips as moms to understand, and I'm guilty of this. Like, I'm not, like, we're not perfect. And the kids gonna be okay. You do the best you can, and they're gonna be okay. Yeah. And it's crazy because like when my friend, she got pregnant with her first baby, she was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "Look, if you don't kill him, it's okay." It's I'm saying it to be funny, but I'm being real. Like, I know she's not the type of person that's gonna try to harm him. You're gonna do what you feel is right, and what's gonna be what you think is gonna be best for your child. Yeah, and it's gonna be okay. That's the point of saying that. Like, not to say really she's gonna kill him, but that's why I just say that if you don't kill him, you're all right.
You're gonna be all right. But y'all, we have to stop thinking that everything, so for me, perception is a big thing, and how people perceive me, and then I get caught up in that, and I will circle the drain.
I think we all do.
Perception for a long time, and I was on a group with some close girlfriends of mine, and for the first time ever, I openly admitted I used to do all of MJ. When MJ was homeschooled, I sat right next to him. He sat in this office next to me, and I helped him the whole time, because I didn't want people to think if he got an answer wrong that he didn't come from a good home. And my really close friend is a psychiatrist. She said, "How is he supposed to learn if he get all the answers right?"
True.
Right.
That's part of, I guess, us as women trying to be that perfect person. Yeah. Everything. And it adds the stress and the anxiety on us because we want to do everything.
So my mind was, if he's going to be at home and he's going to be learning, he's going to be great at learning, and everybody's going to know he's great at learning because I'm doing all the schoolwork.
Not because you doing all the work.
I think that's where like some of my OCD comes in, because remember I had put the video out where I was trying to do the laundry. Like, it drives me absolutely insane to have clutter, and like, first of all, I hate boxes, and like my husband knows, like, when
right now my house would drive you crazy.
I would literally, I would not like stop. Like, so like when I first met my husband, he had like stack of like old boxes that I was like, for what? And he's like, well, if I move it, I said, no, when you move, you want to do the TV, you take some old blankets, you wrap the TV up. I said, you don't need any of these boxes. Boxes bring bugs and roaches. I said, we're not having these boxes. And so like when we move, like I will not sleep. I'm like unpacking because I had to get the boxes out. Like it's like when I say it's bad, it's bad. Yeah. And so it's just certain things. And it's like, is it because like they irritate me? Is because of the perception? Like my mom like cleans the house and she like, so it's like in my head, and she trained us like that because like she like when we had no school, I could not stand not having school. Like that was the worst thing because we had to stay home, and me and my brother had to clean the house. But my brother didn't do it. I cleaned the house because I didn't want to hear my mother's mouth. I did not want to hear her in my ear. So and when I say clean the house, we had to sweep the walls, move off like everything. And she would come home and be like, you ain't do it. You see that spot around the corner behind the back of the toilet? Like, are you kidding me? So I think like part of that is like, I got to have a clean house. I got to make sure I cook dinner, which I like cooking dinner, but it still stresses me out because I don't know what to cook. And then nobody in the house eats the same thing. So it's like, I'm trying to do that and try to make sure to eat healthy because blood pressure going up and this, and it's like, no. And then you got anxiety from just life situations happening that you're trying to deal with. And then you got to take time for yourself. And then you got to make sure you drink 8 glasses of water. You got to make sure it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm coming or going.
Right.
I think sometimes we forget, we people start saying self-care. And it's like, self-care is just something else I have to do.
Yeah.
Can't I just fall apart at the seams and be okay?
Yeah. And you got to spend money doing it too. Because sometimes it ain't free depending on what you need.
No, self-care is not free because again, ladies, taking a bubble bath is not self-care. Everybody has the right to hygiene. Yeah. And I am adamant about that because I have had to take a shower with a person sitting in a chair outside my bathroom door reading to me because I don't want to read to daddy. He don't let me do the voices.
Oh Lord. How about this?
I'm like, really? So I know you're taking your shower, but I have to read before I go to bed. So I'm going to read my story of the week to you, and I'm going to read it so I can do the voices.
Oh, yeah. I remember when it was time for the twins to take it. Nina was pretty good. The twins, they was on another level. I used to literally have my head out the shower, trying to shower, watching them, because at that time, they started learning how to climb out the crib. So they would help each other out the crib and then knock the gate down and get down the stairs.
I can see it.
Like, I was like, you get back in there. You better not. You better not. You better not get out. So it was like always intense with them because they would tag team each other. I mean, one day the door was open and I'm like, how did y'all get the door open? Like, they learned how to do this stuff and they'll watch me do it and they'll, figure it out. Mm-hmm. It was like doing that and being a single parent. I was just like, you know what, God, I started praying to God. I was just like, you know what? I don't know. I just don't. I have so many anxiety stories. I really do. We could be on this all day.
But this is the real stuff. Like it's crazy because you look at these videos on social media or you're looking at TV shows and it's like, oh, their house is always so perfect and perfectly aligned. And then, nothing really ever happens. And it's like, oh, even like the reality shows, it's like, oh, it's everything. And it's like, no, that's not the reality.
That's like, not the reality.
When somebody's calling you and you got the child screaming in the background and then somebody else, and you're like, in the door and somebody's knocking at the door. It's like everything happens at once and you're trying to cook. Well, let me tell you my latest thing because, I do have Dom, but Dom, he's out, he's doing his stuff or whatever. My daughter's at school, so it's me and the baby. So I get to the point now, I have my little hitch on so my baby dangles from my chest. And guess what? I have to use the toilet with her dangling from my chest.
Hey.
That's what I got to do.
Hey.
Yes.
And so my daughter came in one time and I was using the bathroom, my oldest, and she was like, Mom, what are you doing? said, look, gotta do what I gotta do.
This is life.
So you gotta sit on the toilet, you gotta pick up her legs
Yeah.
so they're
Yeah.
not in the way.
Yeah.
And after get yourself clean.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's what you have
life.
to do.
Ooh. It's part of it. I don't think I love our men, but I don't think they don't do what we do. You know what I mean? They don't really understand it, which is, again, for the next episode, I'm gonna go in more about it. Trying to co-parent has given me more anxiety than, honestly, like my twins' dad, he's not in the picture at all. And honestly, I would rather no parent in the picture at all, unfortunately, versus an inconsistent parent, because the anxiety that you have with trying to co-parent with someone that may not even be on the same mental level page as you.
Mhm.
I mean, when I tell you, I'm like, okay, my daughter finna be 18, but it's still not gonna end. You know what I mean? Because now we're gonna go to the other part of parenting. You know, this is never ending. So how you cope with this when you have someone that mentally isn't mature yet? At 35, I'm 35. Still not mentally mature yet to be able to understand, like, look, what you're doing is affecting my health. I can't completely cut you out of the picture because legally I still have to be able to co-parent with you, but it's still affecting my health. I'm just like, how does this make sense for me? And how am I going to be able to balance this out in my life to where it's healthier for me, but still be able to co-parent, you know? So
So when we disconnect and all the Facebook ain't watching us, I'm gonna tell you what you know how I dealt with that right there. But we're not gonna tell everybody on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I think we've all had to deal with something like that because with my the inconsistency, like even as mothers, the first thing we're gonna say is
wait a minute. Hold on.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can y'all tell we came at the same time? And she wholeheartedly means that.
Yeah.
So the Pop-Tart daddy that my child has.
Wholeheartedly. Like she was like, I remember because I was 16 when I had Braylon, and it used to bother me. I used to cry because I was like, oh, this would make, and my sister was like, first and foremost, not with him. No, not never. Not with that. We are not. And then two, we're not doing the inconsistency.
Yes.
That I think that's the word. I think I'm with Jennifer on that. I think the inconsistency is worse. And for me, it wasn't even about what it did affect my health and my anxiety because it was affecting my daughter.
Yes.
Because the inconsistency of saying, okay, I'm gonna call you at such and such time, and then 3 months go by and you don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Like, or I'm gonna do this and then it don't happen. Or the empty promises, and then now you got to deal with the child frantically crying, and you try to calm them down, and then you try not to make the other parent look bad. Be like, oh, maybe they just misunderstood, or maybe they, maybe something come up. It got to the point where my child was like, for real, mama.
Now, yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
Right.
And it's at that point, it's like,
yeah.
Well,
they know.
Well, now you know. So
yeah. You know what? Mine, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care who you watch, record, send it to, whatever. When it come out of your child's mouth that, Mom, I would rather him be out of the picture than to be inconsistent. When I found out that started affecting her and she became depressed, or she was like, I just don't feel like I'm a priority, that's really hurtful. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that brings your anxiety up.
Yeah. And I'm just like, man, I can't do nothing but apologize and, just give her that support and say, let me help you figure out how we gonna make this better. So I remember that just the other day, I'm transparent. We had a whole blowout with each other, and I didn't even sleep well that night. And I was like, man, when I wake up, I'm gonna just have to let her know, like, I got you. You know, you're not. Don't feel like he's doing this because of you. You don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is solely on this person, his level of maturity, him not but you know what too? It go even deeper than that. Outside of this excuse, because I think it's an excuse to a certain extent, if he didn't have a father to teach him what it means to be a great active father, him having children, that you're lacking because you don't know how to be a father. You really don't know, and you really haven't had many examples. Now, what you are accountable for is getting around good men that can give you this information. I told him, I don't care if you got to YouTube how to be a daddy. At this point, you YouTube something, because it's just ridiculous. Like, I was a mom at 17. You know, I didn't know what it was to be a mom, but I had examples around me that showed me how to be a great mother. And I even tell my kids now, look, I'm not, people, don't get me wrong, a lot of people say, oh man, Jennifer, you're a great mother. I still feel like I have a lot of work to do. It's certain times where I'm like, dang, I didn't even cook for y'all this week because I was so tired working, and I feel bad because I didn't cook for y'all this week. You know what I mean?
We're learning. Don't feel bad. They still alive.
They are.
Starved to death.
I know.
It's okay.
I know, but it's just the fact of.
But that's what we do. We feel bad. We feel guilty.
Yeah.
What I thought I was gonna be sometimes as a mother, I'm like, man, I ain't did none of this with my kid. She's gonna be 18, and I was just thinking, like, man, I never had that chance to be able to go and just eat lunch. Me and her just eat lunch together without my twins having to be there. So I had told her, I was like, you know, I have to change some things in what I'm doing. I'm gonna, you know, tell the twins, hey, y'all can't come with us. Y'all gonna have to stay at the house. Me and Nina, we're gonna go do XYZ together. And I told her, I said, it's not too late to start certain things. And I just had to let her know I was a young mom too. A lot of stuff my mom didn't do with me, but I don't want to bring that into my mothering with her. So let me figure out some things that I can do different. And I'm learning along the way. So I just tell her, don't blame me for some things that I don't know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. But the fact that I'm willing to make some changes and, you know, admit where I'm lacking as a mother, you know, so we can push forward, because I never want her or my boys to hold anything against me based off, you know, whatever I got going on.
Do you think they really will? Because it is what
they don't.
Jamana,
you said it right.
Jamana, she said that we're harder on ourselves than our kids. I think our kids just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I saw a post, and
just running with my camera.
It's something you touching. You over there touching something.
I'm not touching the computer though.
It's gonna fix itself. It's coming. Oh, did it do it?
No.
Shake it. You know, you shake it. It'll.
No. So I saw a quote, and it was one of the most powerful quotes I had read about parenting. It was, my niece in San Antonio posted it. She said, "Dear Mom, forgive me for not forgiving you and realizing when you were raising me, you were growing up too."
That's powerful. Oh, I need that.
And I think that's at any age. Because my mom left us when she was 65, and me and my sister sat back and we collectively thought about it. There were still things we were waiting on her to teach us how to do.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna teach us how to deal with you when you get old, right? Like real old, like you deal with grandmama, like that's gonna be taught, right? We're gonna learn that. You're gonna teach us how, when our husbands get old and start plucking our nerves, we don't roll them out into traffic.
That don't happen when they're old. That can happen when they're young too. They pluck our nerves all the time. You know that.
Yeah.
But we had to, and I was very hard on my mom. Like, I was like, oh, and you didn't do this with me, and you didn't do this with me. And But I had to step back and be like, okay, first off, it was 5 of y'all. Your mama was tired. I realize that now more than ever, because I have 5. And I be like, I jokingly tell people, but since my 20-year-old has been back here at home, she's starting to really like, this might be a real possibility. When Adrian turns 10, my husband and I have decided that we're going to sign custody over to his sister. Because she will be young enough to carry him on across the raising, and we want him to be a good person. But right now we're tired. And at the rate we going, in 8 years, he will be able to run all over us. Because we ain't gonna have the energy to do,
because I got a 7-month-old.
And you and Dom need to go on and figure it out. Now let her know you got this long to get your life together. And then your sister gonna be on your porch. Because we gonna be too tired. We gonna be wore out. I have come to that conclusion. And Angel told us, she was like, real talk. She say, no offense, but y'all a little weak.
Oh, wait a minute. Not weak.
I said, excuse me? She say, not to upset anybody. For real. But y'all acting like some punks.
Funny.
And I'm like, she said, I remember when. And anytime her and her brother start a story with, I remember when. And Madison was like, y'all make it seem like y'all had a tragic childhood. And Braylon told her, he said, Madison, I was one more whooping away from a CPS worker. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. I was one. He said, anytime Braylon was like, we got jerked up wherever we showed out. She wait till y'all get home, and then she didn't forget about it because her brain ain't as sharp as it used to be.
That is hilarious.
So I'm like,
my husband. My husband said, he's like, you're the tough one. He calls me Mama Bear. He's like, you the tough one. I just don't have the tolerance. I have gotten softer though because of my husband, not because of the kids, because of my husband. Because he was like, okay, police child custody, please don't come. So Brianna,
girl, they come to my house first, so I'll text you and tell you.
So Brianna was acting up one day, and me and Dom was dating, and Brianna was acting up one day, and she was showing her behind for real. And they said before we know it, she said, you had slammed Brianna up against the truck, and the truck shook. They said, we thought we was on cops. I said,
not cops.
I said, I don't have a problem with Brianna cutting up outside because she know her mama's not going to tolerate a lot of stuff. So, but I am a little bit more rigid because I'm like, Brianna, like, because when you get out, look, I got to prepare you for life because when you get out in the streets, you gotta be prepared. Life ain't easy, ain't sugarcoat. I can be nice and sweet to you, and then you get out in there and life will hit you over the head. Like I can't. But some of the things I do slack on, and it causes me anxiety, such as my dishes are not organized in my cabinet right now, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. So I get mad, and I may wake her up out of her sleep and say, come up here and organize my dishes because this is driving me crazy. The other day, she couldn't even close the thing. She's like, I don't know how they organize. I said, you've been washing dishes all these years and you ain't figured out how to organize these dishes? I said, it's a problem. I said, you're smarter than that. Figure it out.
They'll throw something in there real quick and hurry up and close it.
Yeah.
You know, open it up, everything that fell out. Nope.
Your sister is hilarious.
You know what? That don't sound.
And I'm gonna tell you, and my 4-year-old niece run it. Run it. This is when I have my angry arguments with God, and I'd be like, you took her, and she still had a Marley and an Adrian to raise, because between my 4-year-old, my sister's 4-year-old, and my 2-year-old. We just throw our hands up and be like, you know what? The last child standing wins tonight. The last one. And when my niece has dug her heels in, she has dug her heels in. And now my oldest sister, her kids they're teenagers. I have a nephew at Morehouse and a niece she's a junior in high school. So her house always perfect. Like we call it the White House. You go over there, you scared to sit down because everything all perfect. Me and my other sister, you walk in our house, just step over the toys. Please don't trip on them. Our homeowners can't pay for you to be hurt. So just kick them toys to the corner when you walk in. Now don't walk through our house with your shoes on because we don't like to sweep. Yeah. And God forbid we ask a child to sweep.
Oh, that ain't happening. I can barely get my child to wash the dishes. Now, granted, I give it to her for the past week. She been washing dishes without fussing and having an attitude.
A whole week.
Because it's usually like the whole world is going to, like tears and just attitude. And I'm like,
that is Madison. That is Madison with a kitchen.
But I'm like, you don't have anything else to do. I said, look, I had to keep my room. Well, I didn't keep my room clean. I had my bed made though. That's my other OCD. Like my bed has to be made every single day. That's the first thing I do when I get out of bed. I don't do nothing else. I have to make that bed.
Yeah, my sister, she's like that. Like she can't leave and go to work and it's weird because my brother-in-law works at night. So when he comes home, she gets upset if he unmake her bed.
I feel it though. Because my husband gets upset. Like he be like, I said, no, here's a blanket, lay on top of the sheets. No, don't mess up my bed. He said, but I said, it did like, so he'll get up and go to the bathroom. And I hurry up and I make up the bed. He said, but I want to go back to sleep. Just get the blanket and lay on top of the bed. You know what? Look, I know I have some issues, but it will stress the crap out of me. And my sheets have to be like laid nicely because if they wrinkled and balled up, I can't sleep. I cannot sleep.
So Tam, I know you said we were good if we went over an hour, but I'm always just cognizant of people's time and what's going on.
Yeah, we are an hour and a half.
So if it's okay, I know you deal with
we don't end the episode. We don't end the episode.
No, well, this is what I wanted to know. Yes. What do you do? What is the best practice that you have to help with your anxiety? Because I want to learn something. I need something besides this in the Bible.
So let me be honest, because you'll have people say you could do yoga, you could do meditation, that doesn't work for me because I'm very competitive. So if I'm doing yoga, my goal is to be better than the next person that's next to me. I can't be.
I'm going downward dog to the 10th degree.
I'm just shaking. I'll be like, I gotta do it. They doing a position longer than me. I gotta do it. So that doesn't help me. And in meditation, I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about all the stuff that I need to do that I didn't do or should have been done or what somebody else is doing or what that sound is. I can't. So walking worked for me. So I think everybody is different and you have to figure out. I put my music on. Okay. So I put on some hood. I'll listen to some Trick Daddy. I'll listen to some Yin Yang Twins. I'll listen to some
real hip hop.
Yeah, some booty shakes. So don't be surprised if I'm walking and shaking my butt down the street. No, but that's what I exactly. Some Uncle Luke, some Tamara D, something. But that's what I have to do, especially if I'm really mad or if I'm like my anxiety is really high. I have to do that, or I have to go to sleep.
Yeah.
When you got a 7-month-old, that don't happen.
No.
The walking I can do. I put her in the stroller. And I walk, and she does pretty good. She's gotten used to the stroller, so that's what I got.
What about you, Jennifer?
I'm still trying to figure that out because I have sage. I got little meditation, little
sound
bowls, liquor, Bible.
Look, she said the liquor, Bible.
Yeah, Bible. It just. You know what? At this point in my life, I have to find solutions. And sometimes you can't find that in that very moment. But with a lot of my stuff is really reoccurring. So I have to find some type of solutions. But in that moment, I'm going to probably go to sleep. I'm going to probably just go to sleep. Sleep it out.
Keep working at it. Keep working at it and understand that you got to keep searching till you find it. Because I didn't find mine till the 40s. I just started walking when I got pregnant with this actually before I got pregnant with this last pregnancy. When the doctor told me my blood pressure was up, and she said the way your heart is changing, you're gonna go into congestive heart failure. I said, not I.
Yeah.
And I started walking.
Yeah. And that's funny you said that, because I had a doctor's appointment today, and because of my gastro issue that I've been dealing with, kind of starting to get some answers. And he was listening into my heartbeat, and he was like, "You ever have any issues with your heart?" And I'm like, "Look, see, that's going to come to the doctor, because you about to tell me I'm about to die and stuff. Like, really? Like, don't ask me questions about my heart."
I'm telling you, start walking.
Yeah,
that's the best cardio you can get. Like, my feet hurt if I do some running or anything else. Like, when your boy's out there practicing, just walk.
Right.
So for me, ideally, in a perfect world, I'd be able to go and sit somewhere and put my feet in some sand and some water come up on it. Because I love the beach. But my husband told me, he said that good old Gulf water gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go down to Houston and play in the Gulf water. Yeah. But it took until I can get to me some real water. I like to color.
You what?
I color.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will sit like a little kid in the middle of the floor with like 3 different coloring books open and over 100 color pencils, and I will color. And I will get lost in the color. And then anybody who know me know I love a television. I will sit up and watch episodes of Big Bang, followed by Charmed, and close that out with some Castle.
Oh,
that was funny.
I remember that.
And I will have worked through all of it, because I didn't put it all in the TV show.
I can't even sit still that long. Like, if I sit still that long, I fall asleep. Like, the TV is just on. Like, I don't even go to the movies anymore, because Dawn was like, you
will waste the $750.
Yeah. and then, so look, my therapist, I told her, I said, "Oh, I love to do puzzles." She said, "Oh, you should do that. That's a great way people, relax themselves." I said, "Well, but see, when I do a puzzle, I don't want no help. But I set a deadline, and I have to beat the deadline."
Yeah.
She said, "You got to work on this competitiveness. This competitive. I'm going to do my own time on this."
She's like, "No, then you might want to stay away from the puzzles."
I used to do puzzles. I used to glue them onto a cardboard.
Yeah, I have some picture frames of the puzzles and stuff that I've done.
Love puzzles. Yeah.
So, okay, so we are going to end the show. I am. This was very fun. I thank you both for being on here and getting out and talking about our being mommy and our anxiety. So before we go, tell us some of the stuff that you do. I know you guys, Jennifer has 1,000 jobs, and Janae has some jobs and stuff she does. So Jennifer, tell me what you do.
So I'm a natural hairstylist, and I am about to start school, actually probably in a couple weeks.
Well, you got a name. What's the name of your salon so we can?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Jennifer Perry Hair Studio.
So they can look you up and find you.
I'm in Uptown on Lemon. I've been a hairstylist for almost 9 years now, and I love every bit of it. I've built a lot of relationships. I also make T-shirts or outfits. The Jennifer Perry Hair Studio.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, it's all right. You're gonna still find me though. T-shirts, that really started based off me just making the boys sporting T-shirts, and then that turned into a whole business. I also make sea moss, smoothies, detox teas. Working on, I guess, being like a herbalist. I love all holistic and natural remedies to kind of try to stay away from, hard medications. I'm going to school to be a trichologist because I love studying the scalp, the skin, hair loss. I deal with a lot of clients that have hair loss. And in August, I'm going back to school because I would like to pursue a career in dermatology, to be a dermatologist. So,
Ooh.
got a lot going right there.
A lot.
That is a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm gonna get it done though.
Yes,
And she gonna put the boys in some martial arts. Yeah. So,
But you know what? They're gonna be starting back school in August.
yeah, but they still got to get there.
I know, but you know what? I won't have to take Nina because she'll be in college.
Yeah.
So it's
Find
okay.
that's right. You find your wins, Miss Jennifer.
Yes.
Find your wins.
Yeah. So
All right, Janae, what you got going on?
Oh, so I am a business coach and
Okay.
strategist. So I work with small business owners to help them start, grow, and scale their businesses. So I get in there with you. We walk in a mile in your shoes together. And I really enjoy working with female entrepreneurs, helping them clearly define out their why and their purpose for why they have started the businesses that they've started. So I'm an identity and destiny facilitator. So that's kind of a one-on-one process where you and I are sitting down and we're truly getting to the bottom of your why and your purpose. I tell people all the time, it's not nearly as important to understand who you are as it is to understand whose you are.
Yeah.
Because when we all start to understand that we are children, we are still children of God.
Mhm.
And I think one of the realest realizations I had during this parenting thing is when I heard God say, "You frustrated with Braylon. How you think I feel with you?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, my bad." Checkmate. So, understanding how to make sure we stay in alignment with what it is that God has called us to do. So, Beard Marketing and Management firm.
Okay.
And my husband and I, we do coupled cups conversations where we talk to other couples that are in the entrepreneurial space. I tell people all the time, he is my number one funder. Because if it was not for the corporate job, I would be homeless and probably with an OnlyFans page. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Somebody got to fund the entrepreneurial dream. So that is me.
Awesome. I need to contact you.
So, that is going to be the end of today's episode. We ran just a smidget, 40 minutes over.
A little bit.
So thank you for watching. Thank you, my guests, for being on. Please like, comment, follow It's Okay with Tam Tam. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this with whoever you think might hear this, because I'm sure there's other moms that's out there that has some anxiety going on. And just remember that life happens and it's okay because you are not alone.
Yeah. Oh.